Hello and welcome to QTheVoices podcast. I'm Racheal Wilding, host for today, and today I am so pleased to be joined by Katrina Mankani, Managing Director for Jumeirah International Nursery Group and Director of Positive Education for Fortis Education. Fortis is well known for its commitment to positive education, well-being, and developing the whole child, not just the academic outcomes. Today we're going to talk about leadership, positive education in practice, and what it really means to support children and families in today's world, particularly here in the UAE.
Oh, hello, Rachel. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So, to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into education, into leadership of education? What first drew you to the path?
Hmm. I think if I summarize it in one word, it will be the word service. In fact, when I was a young girl, I was always a prefect at school, and then I wanted to serve my country, so I went to study public administration.
Okay.
I have a master's in public administration, and then life brought me to Dubai. Uh, and I thought to myself, if I can't serve my country right now here, I'd like to serve the citizens of the world, the children. And that brought me to I went to school first, to Regent School, and
Okay.
I said, can I teach here? I can teach economics, and they told me, no, you don't have PGC. I said, oh. I went to one of our nurseries, Jumeirah International Nurseries, and said, okay, can I teach here? And they said, no, you don't have cash level 3.
Uh,
So I said, okay, what's easier to get and faster? So I remember getting my cash level 3 right after my master's in public
yeah.
administration, right? And being a teaching assistant in
Okay.
the Jumeirah Al Safa branch,
Okay.
right behind the JPS.
Yeah.
It was 2009. And that's how I started my journey. And through these years, how many years? 16 years, I have been a teaching assistant, a teacher, a head of nursery. Then also, I worked in the school as a teacher. Later, I got my PGC. I got a master's in education. And I can proudly say that I've taught children from very young age, 1-year-old to
All
18
the
year
way.
olds. And I've established the whole positive education curriculum, ethos, department. So in terms of what brought me to leadership, well, I believe in leading from the trenches. And I always tell my team that whatever is needed to do for the benefit of the children, for the benefit of school or nursery, I will do. And I tell my team that your job every day when you come to work is to serve your only boss, the child.
Yeah.
Your only boss is the child. None of us are your bosses. Whatever is good for the child, we're going to do.
And I think that's where our visions and sort of they really align, putting children first. And I think if you always think about that, then whatever, is circling around in the world of education or within your own nursery school, if you always come back to putting children first, you'll be on the right track, definitely. You mentioned positive education. Where was there a moment at some point? Obviously, you've had so many different roles.
Mm-mm.
Was there at one point that really made you sort of shape that belief for positive education and how you would really sort of make that your own role within the group?
So first of all, like I follow the legacy of my mother-in-law, the founder of Fortis Education, Shakuntala Mankani, and for whom value-based education always was a priority. So she always believed that, and she still believes, she's still a chairwoman of our organization. She's 84. She still
Incredible.
comes to school. In fact, I saw her today morning at St. Mark's School.
And
Um,
that really is a life of service.
Absolutely. And for her, value-based education always was a priority. So always in her schools, children were taught values. So when I came into the group, I remember in 2010 or 2011, I went to the UK and I lived for a month with the lady who created the Education Human Values program.
Okay.
I lived in Sussex with her and I said, teach me everything you know. I want to bring it to our school. And we started introducing that program in the school. But there was something missing in that program. the empirical studies and the research that makes it palatable to academics, to teachers who are asking questions. Okay, how do we know that it works?
Yeah.
And that's how I stumbled on positive education. Positive education is was born in 2009 in collaboration between Professor Martin Seligman from University of Pennsylvania, who is the father of positive psychology, and the reputable old uh, heritage school in Australia, Geelong Grammar School. And there, this blend of positive psychology and outstanding pedagogy was born. Um, I was happy to meet the vice principal of the school and the directors of Institute of Positive Education that they've established in 2015 as we were actually setting Sunmark up. And in our vision, we wanted St. Mark to be a positive education school from the very start.
Yes.
So that is why we established the collaboration between the Institute of Positive Psychology and Fortis Education. And for the next 3 years, the team from Institute of Positive Education in Geelong Grammar School was coming to train us. I have become the associate trainer. We were one of the first schools that were testing the positive education curriculum along with the Geelong Grammar School. So the relationship started then 10 years ago. And what a great journey it was. And the interesting fact here, the empirical studies are very clear. One of the students of Professor Martin Seligman, Dr. Alexander Adler, he ran a study in 450 schools across Bhutan, Mexico, and Peru,
Right.
where they taught positive education curriculum for 18 months. And they measured the well being of the students and the academic achievement on standardized testing before and after.
And the outcomes?
All improved. The well being went up and the performance on the tests improved. And I mean, Sunmark has been a great example. So we are a 10-year school. We started as a positive education school from the very start. Incredible results we have in 10 years. In 8 years, we are in the top 100 school in the world in our B results, number 3 in UAE. We send students to great universities, from Cambridge to the Ivy League to Russell Group universities and also to Asia. But it's not just that. It's not these big achievements. It's the achievements every day in the classroom where students run to school. And this is the most important, I think, nowadays. The love of learning, the love of being together in a team and working together in a school, the relationship and the rapport you build with teachers. This is real victories.
Absolutely. And I think parents are looking for that whole capsule of what do I get out of my school. It's not just about the grades anymore.
Absolutely.
It's about what does my child go in like and what does my child come out like? Where's the value added? And for those listening who might not know Fortis, how would you describe the school group? Obviously, ahead of the curve is one way because obviously we have the wellbeing framework. You were clearly ahead of that situation at Sunmark, bringing in positive education. But Fortes, tell us a little bit about it.
Um, our vision is to nurture the next generation of change makers for better tomorrow. And there, in this vision, there is every word has a meaning. So nurture, not create, not build, not educate, nurture, because we believe that in every child there is a great potential,
Mm,
and we're all very different. And
definitely.
so we need to nurture that change making ability of that individual. And we need to nurture it with care, support, and gentle nudge. And we have to develop resilience in them too. The change makers, because look, the world is changing every day. And they need to have the skills of adaptability and resilience, right? And they will they will be contributing to the changing world. For better tomorrow, well, I really hope that the next generation are going to solve the problems that we have created.
You really do hope. And I think that level of being able to really assure parents that, yeah, we support grit, determination, independence, trying new things. It's what we want in education, 100%.
Yeah.
And how does that grit and sort of trying new things sort of envelope with positive education? Tell me about how that sort of marries up together.
Well, it's the essence of it, and it goes back to a very simple thing. How do we treat mistakes?
Hmm.
How do we treat failure? How is failure a first attempt in learning, or is it the end? Uh, is the mistake celebrated as, oh, this is something that I didn't know before? Let me search. Um, is challenge more important than doing it right?
Mm.
Is doing better tomorrow more important than just tick mark?
And I think the environment for sort of releasing that fear of failure,
Hmm.
making sure that there is the environment set up for children of any age at the nursery group, at the main schools, are they able to actually go in with the attitude of, it doesn't matter the outcome, it's about what I learn along the way, I
Yeah,
suppose.
it's about the process. It's about the strategy. So we train teachers before they come into classroom. Every teacher that starts in our group goes through the 3-day positive education training with me and my team, and we tell them that based on the research on Carol Dweck's work, we never praise for ability or intelligence,
Yep.
but we definitely praise for effort, strategy, and process. But if you do praise like this, and if you comment on these things, then the mistakes just become the part of the process,
Hmm.
and you just treat your challenge differently.
And if I was to walk into one of the nurseries, one of the schools, what does positive education actually look like on the ground? How would I see it in the corridor, in the playground, in an ECA, in a lesson? What does it actually look like on a day to day basis?
Okay. So if you walk into one of our schools, first of all, you will see the character strengths written everywhere, the code of character and conduct written everywhere. And we believe is what you focus on grows. So we want to ensure that we focus on these things all the time. So there is a character strengths of the week that students know.
Hmm.
And the teacher will focus on spotting these character strengths. So let's say there is a character strength of perseverance, and she will comment every time she sees anybody persevering. And
Hmm.
she'll say, that's a great perseverance you're showing. Oh, you're a very perseverant person. And somebody will get the Spirit of St. Mark or Spirit of Regent award at the end, and the teacher will say that this is, you all showed perseverance, but that person was really persevering. This is just one of the examples, but also they talk about it during the lesson. So let's say you will walk into year one, and they will be talking about Alice in Wonderland, and they will be all creating their own wonderlands. And the teacher will ask them a question: in your wonderland, the main character, what are their character strengths?
Mm.
Right? And I remember actually observing one of these lessons where the student said, well, in my world, the character strengths is self control because there are so many sweets. And if I don't have self control, I'll eat them all.
So, a beautiful golden thread running through everything that
Yes.
you do, that it's always just there in the background being dipped into and sort of reframed for the children. And with the teachers playing such an important role, I imagine onboarding staff
Hmm.
within to your
Yeah.
Fortis sort of community is a really important part to make sure that they've got that modeling and positive education right, that they understand what they're
Yeah.
meant to be able to have in conversations.
Absolutely. Children learn by observing. And that's why modeling is so important. Over the years, we were able to attract teachers who subscribe to this approach from the start.
Yeah.
Um, and in our interviewing process, of course, the subject knowledge matters a lot. But what matters more is the attitude and how you will teach character through your subject, and how will you teach character through your everyday interaction with students.
Yes, because you don't want it to feel like just a little add-on. You want it
Absolutely.
to feel genuine. You don't
Yes.
want it to feel like, oh, hang on a moment, I just need to mention something.
Absolutely, yes. So we're very lucky to attract people of great character themselves and those who are committed to developing it in students.
And I think that's exactly what you're looking for,
Yeah.
aren't you? To work alongside as a colleague, or for those types of people to be part of the community if you're looking for the school as a parent. I mean, academic excellence is obviously something that we talk about a lot. How do you balance high academic expectations with well-being in a way that feels really more genuine than just an add-on at the end?
Mm. Well, it's an essential question. There is no need for balance when it is your ethos.
Mm,
It can't be an add-on. It's not a subject that you teach. It's the environment that you create in your school. Um, that's why one just complements another. Look, you need the achievement to feel good. It's part of the Martin Seligman's theory. The PERMA theory has A for achievement in it. So, positive emotions, relationship, meaning and purpose, engagement, and achievement. You need all of them to feel ultimate well being.
hmm.
Uh, at the same time, uh, learning something new comes with stress. And stress in good in small portions is good for you.
Yes.
It helps you grow. I mean, to grow your muscles, you need to tear them a little bit, right? Everything is in stress as it grows. To be able to manage it is what differentiates the great performers from average ones.
It's the building blocks around it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. And so, what the well being ethos in the school gives you is not a happyology, but we are going through um, training, learning, working long hours, preparing for exams, and we have coping mechanisms.
Mm.
We know when to sit down and to breathe, and we know how. So, we do the deep breathing exercise with children from the age of 3. We know that we tell students before exams that actually, when you enter exams with, hey, I'm excited, then it helps you also to we explain the whole science of how amygdala, prefrontal cortex, everything works. And when you're excited, you actually switch on back your prefrontal
And you
cortex.
have a bit of a let's do this type
Exactly,
of let's.
exactly, right? So we teach all of that, and we also talk about it with them before exams. So it's just ingrained.
And I'm curious, obviously, as an educational group, we said earlier it's always about putting children first.
Mhm.
How do you support staff well-being? At the end of the day, we do live and work in a very competitive, hustle and bustle type of city and country. How do you make sure that, the staff are also interacting in that positive education mindset? I assume that you maintain your staff, maybe they go further up the ladder. How do you get that situation that they are all buying into this and they themselves are benefiting from positive education?
Um, so first, we of course every new teacher goes through this training, and then we continue the training through the years. But it's not just about training; it's about being real.
Mm.
I think the we can't uh, we can't avoid teacher burnout, even if they are on a low teaching schedule, just because the teaching job requires not just your intellectual ability, but a lot of emotional investment.
It's a full
It's a
buy-in as a
full, yeah,
career. It is
it's
a full
absolutely.
from the morning you're up till and even when you're in bed,
You still
you
think
don't
about it.
switch it off ever,
Yes,
do you?
yes, yes. So first we need to be realistic and know that it exists. And also, so we tell teachers on when we talk about emotions that um, let's avoid the rigidity of good emotions, bad emotions. This is all our signs. And if you are not feeling well, if something overwhelms you, we are a support system for you. Talk to us. Talk to your line manager. Talk to your team. It is important for us to ensure that we are all doing well, right?
Yes.
That is number one. Number two, the teamwork and camaraderie. So our teams over, the departments, there, you know how schools work, right?
Totally.
So you can either work against each other or you work together.
Yes.
So we ensure that we work together, and our line managers also do a little bit of positive leadership on with their teams in a way that they also praise them for effort and process and strategy rather than ability and intelligence. So whatever we do with the students, we have to do
In a
with
mirror.
a team, right? So and that also creates a great benefit
Yes.
for the team because they know that, let's say, my head of my department or the head of my phase is working with me, even if I'm not pulling my weight or something. Not that anybody not pulling the weight, but we are all
All at different
we are
times
learning
and
school, and
absolutely.
by learning school I mean that we are constantly improving, constantly improving. We constantly bring something new, right? Now with AI, it's a huge learning curve,
Massive.
and we're doing it already for 3 years, and we've already reached so far. We're doing such great work with AI.
But we all learn it different ways, just like
Absolutely.
children. Adults learn
Absolutely.
it different ways.
Absolutely.
So they need that. Different people will need different levels of support, I
Yes.
assume, which will really impact
And
well-being.
yeah, and that's why being realistic, I think, is the most important thing in leadership, is knowing that your team will struggle, and that is normal. And it's my job as a leader, and it's our job as leaders in the school, um, to create an infrastructure, an environment in which struggling will be easier,
Yes.
and a little bit of struggle is celebrated
Mm.
because we are all learning, we're all growing.
And if it was easy, there wouldn't be that, yes, I got it at the
Yes.
end, that you've actually come out, you've learnt a new skill,
Mm-hmm.
or you've weathered the storm in whichever capacity it is. There is that element of, yes, I've done it. I've had that grit, determination, like we spoke about being important in children, and
Yes.
I've come out the other end. I
Yes.
mean, we were talking just, you brought up AI. It's a different world we're living in, and we're all talking about that, whether it's on a mum's Facebook group or a work chat or in a induction meeting. What do you think, taking it back to the children, are the key skills that we need to make sure that our children leave formal education with, or at any stage? What are those things that outside of the academics, what do they need to thrive?
Core skills.
Mm,
And those core skills are not anymore math, English, science.
no.
The core skills today are what some people, not me, but some people used to call soft skills.
Mm,
So the uh, empathy, adaptability, curiosity, love of learning, all of this are now the core skills because this is what makes us different from machines.
correct.
That's number one. Number two, AI. AI is now another skill that everybody should leave the school with, and we should not be afraid of AI. We should know how to tame it, right? So in psychology, we say name it to tame it, right? To reduce the effect of a difficult emotion. Here is learn it to tame it.
Yes.
You
Don't be
want,
afraid of it.
yes,
It's here to stay.
is here to stay, and you can superpower you can power charge yourself with it, and you can have a superpower with it. And yes, I know there is a MIT study that it affects the memory, so whatever you gave that you can't remember, but it doesn't mean that the schools should teach children to just do their work on AI. We still have to practice everything else. We have to increase our cognitive abilities. We need to work on our memory. We have to understand how to build connections,
Yes.
because without all of these things, you also will not be able to use AI powerfully.
No.
Your chatbot is as powerful as you are because you will have to prompt, you will have
You're
to,
feeding it, aren't you?
you're
You're
feeding.
feeding the beast. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but I think it's an important skill. And Adaptability, adaptability, adaptability again, because every year the world will be changing. Children who are right now 10 years old, they're supposed to go to university in 8 years.
Yeah.
Who knows what's
Who
going to be
knows if
there?
that's even going to be the
Mm,
main avenue that people will go down?
absolutely.
I think that's I couldn't agree more with you. Adaptability, grit. It is all about being able to survive in a world that we really don't know what it will be like when they end, when that year 13 or end of year
Yeah.
comes along.
And building relationships. Some people say, with AI, the schools as we know disappear. No, they will be even more important because they teach children to build relationships. Remember that cohort that was graduating during
Lockdown
COVID
and
for
COVID.
lockdown?
Yep.
I once spoke to somebody from that cohort who
My
just
son was
graduated.
actually one of them. Yep.
Yeah,
He was a year 13 in COVID times.
your son is lucky because he has his brother as well, with whom he has
Yep.
great
Yes.
relationships.
Yep.
But still, I want to ask you actually, how was his university experience? Did his cohort in university bond so much as, for example, in our days when our university buddies were buddies for life?
I think it was different,
It
and
was
my
different.
boys went to a boarding school, and
Mm-hmm.
so he didn't have that natural end to the cycle
Mm-hmm.
because nobody was there, and then it was a delayed start and very different, and people had been away from
Yeah,
socializing for a year. So it was very different
yeah,
to my youngest, who was a year below, had the formal end closure to school.
yeah,
And I agree, being able to interact successfully
yeah,
within different settings, it's such an important life skill.
absolutely. Yeah.
Talking of life and family, we obviously both reside in the UAE, and the leaders have announced it is the year of the family.
Mm-hmm.
How is that interacting with your positive education within the Fortis group?
It's all through parent partnerships, and then we also do sessions for parents. I actually just
Nice.
ran a session 2 weeks ago on how to cultivate resilience in children. However, this partnership is always voluntary, right?
Yes.
So our mission as a school also is to invite parents for this partnership, and be more included in the school. So we obviously have this parent committees, and we have a cafeterias in the school. So uh, parents come, parents be there, parents see us, and
And you want that interaction. You don't want to just
yeah.
inform them, do you? Sort
Mm,
of end of the week, there's the newsletter or there's the information. You want them to be part of the partnership. It is a community being
yeah,
involved in education. It's not just yourself as a teacher and a group of children. It's all about the wider community.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so finally, final question. What gives you hope? What gives you hope that the next generation are going to walk into that exam room, go, yes, just like they'll walk into life and go, yes, I've got this. With all that you do with your positive education, which really does sound so incredibly impactful, what is your hope for the next generation?
I hope that with the resources that they are going to have, they will be much wiser than us, uh, and they will fix certain problems that we have created. I'm also a believer in the innate good in human beings, um, but I also believe in these two dogs
Hmm.
on our shoulders, the bad and the good one, and the one that survives is the one you feed. So that is why my mission is to spread the knowledge that if you focus on the goodness in other people, if you focus on the positive impact that you can create, it will just be around you. You will be able to see your next action. So I really hope that people will switch their focus.
I think I remember being very early in my career in a set week, beginning of a school term, new principal, and there was this little slide came up, and it said, "Be a radiator, not a drain."
Oh, yeah.
And when you think about that, that really is positive education with children, with staff, find the good, find ways to, be successful, even if it means
Mhm.
navigating failure or anything. But I couldn't agree more. I think we could talk for hours.
Yeah.
I definitely think that you need to do a workshop for external people outside of Fortis, because that positive education has such impact clearly in the community's lives. Thank you so much for coming in today. It's such a pleasure to talk all things positive education with you, and really to see the impact that it has at all levels in the Fortis group.
Thank you.
To everyone listening, thank you for tuning in to Cue the Voices. If this conversation has resonated with you, please do share it and continue the conversation in your own school and communities.